to my right, chief of
they don't realize
boys.
all these terrorists have because of the churches. It's religious psychosis.
As you're aware, on Saturday,
religion is a mental illness.
March here in the city, 25 to 30,000 demonstrators.
They don't see it.
And by and large, the events of that day went off as we would expect.
People that go to church, they go to mosque or synagogue, they're like Muslim positive, Christianity positive, and Hinduism positive.
But on Saturday,
they're like a dormant HIV of the brain
small group
that can blow up like this guy and gets full blown.
Protest
and then people,
thousands of New Yorkers and others,
do all this crazy stuff like 9/11,
selfish manager,
Jim Jones in Guyana, 900 people killed, 1978.
To also.
I mean, etc., like the Crusades, the Inquisitions,
police officers as well
1095.
as demonstrators who were proceeding over the Brooklyn Bridge. The demonstrators being escorted by members of the NYPD.
Clearly, this was chosen because.
Hi, this is Capone Piso. 16th of December, 2014.
A Taliban spokesman claiming 6 suicide bombers were ordered to attack the school. Their goal, to shoot older students. A security official says nearly 700 students and staff were in the building when the attack began.
See that?
Students are aged 10 to 18.
It's all religious psychosis. People don't understand it.
The military has been trying.
Thank you to Atika Schubert there. Well, less than a week ago,
that's the problem.
Sunny school girl whom the Taliban tried to silence 2 years ago is a...
And she's still, this dumb woman is still, that almost got killed, is still a Muslim. She's still wearing the goddamn garbage.
Act of terror.
And she almost got killed with a bullet, and this stupid woman is still a Muslim, psychotic. This is the problem.
I condemn these atrocious and...
I condemn. It's the religion, you stupid woman. It's the religion. It's the psychosis. Believing in all that crap, and she's still a Muslim. This is the... Nobody sees it.
Malala could have a fight against the Taliban. And
she's a kid.
She knows it better than
See, Muslim, psychotic kid, Malala. She's still infected with this garbage, and then nobody sees it. That's why she got shot. And it's not politics. It's a religious psychosis. Sydney, about what, two days ago, people got killed in Sydney because of Islam psychotic. See, and it stormed a cafe. I mean, get into a cafe and they took hostages. And 2 were killed. And the moron was, because it's freedom of speech and democracy and all what you want to call it, they let this psychotic person, this infected, this Islam psychotic infected. And after, he killed his wife and all these problems going on, and he's let free. And this is the problem. And Australia is a Christianity-infected nation. And they don't see it. They have churches all over the place. Believing God is a mental illness. It's one of the schizophrenias. It's a crazy people going out, allowing to be crazy because their disease is considered normal and rational. Religion is like a schizophrenia. It's one of the schizophrenias. It's like a temporal lobe epilepsy. It's like people having a problem with the brain. And they belong in an institution. They should be exposed. Believing in God is believing in Ifophiba, imaginary friend of all irrational belief acceptance, at the core of all religion and schizophrenia, must be exposed. If you're believing in a zombie that resurrect and says with blood, if you believe in a prophet that flies around, if you believe in all that garbage, angels and demons and all that stuff, you are simply a crazy person. You simply belong in a mental institution. If you go over there to a synagogue and you start talking about the imaginary friends, and you go to a mosque and talking to imaginary friends, you go to a church and pray around and pray and all that, you are a crazy person. You're no different than a schizophrenic. If you ask for you pray to him, prayers do not work. It's utterances of sick people, like a schizophrenic. The schizophrenic pray to their imaginary friends. So why to allow these imbeciles running around loose, either Muslims or Christians or deeply believing Christians and pastors and all these morons, to build churches, to infect the brain of children, to build mosques, to build synagogues? These people are crazy people. The Middle East, you're having all the Kaaba running around on this thing. You have the Jews banging their heads on a wall in the ruins of a Roman temple with a little tefillin over here doing this crap. You have the Pope, the imbecile wearing dresses, talking to imaginary friends with the incense and all this stuff. And all these people running around in this 21st century talking to imaginary friends, believing in all this crap. It is a psychosis. So people, neurologists, psychologists, government, just connect, believe in God's imaginary friends to one of the schizophrenias. And this, I've been saying that at Delta, and nobody sees it. That's the reason you have all these killings. Look at ISIS chopping their head off of everybody. And now they have just children in slaughter. And see, this is the problem. Nobody does anything about it. You're still going with the prayers, and you're still going with the churches, allowing churches, they don't pay taxes, allow these imbeciles running around. And they control the United States because the God-obsessed party, the GOP, is going to control the Senate. And they're controlling Congress. The only mentally healthy and also atheist is Obama. What can you do? You're a bunch of lunatics. If you believe in all this crap, you cannot be a Supreme Court justice. You believe in demons, you cannot be that. You cannot be governor of a city. You cannot be a senator. Governor Jindal of Louisiana is an imbecile. He did an exorcism. I believe in Jesus and zombie gas and crap like that. This guy shouldn't be governor. Should be in an asylum. You know, Billy Graham, these morons, you know, these pastors, they are stuck in the 12th century. They have a problem with their brain and nobody seems to see it. See, and the problem is that the upbringing, the religious psychosis upbringing, we were all children. We are born with a blank brain, with no belief in anything, no knowledge. And the upbringing of all these criminals, everybody that commits a heinous crime like this, and are normally religious psychotics, you know, full-blown religious schizophrenia, anybody that commits a heinous crime like that, killing people in a cafe, or Jim Jones in Guyana, 900 killed in 1978. Nobody pays attention to that. Or Andrea Yates drowning the children. Doe of Heaven's Gate. 30-some people killed in San Diego because they wanted to board the spaceship piloted by zombie Jesus. And this happened, you know, again in 1980s or something like that. But anyway, this is the people don't understand these things. Religion is a mental illness, and the killer in Sydney, they never questioned the upbringing of this guy. He was born in Iran. And what is a psychotic thing? It's controlled by mullahs. It's controlled by this is going on all the time. Mecca, all this in Saudi Arabia, they're controlled by Islam psychotic infected imbeciles with different strain of the psychosis of Islamism or the believing crap. And the same thing with the Christians. Go to the Vatican. They're a bunch of idiots reading the Bible and incense, and all the Pope is a grand psychotic. These people are stuck in the 12th century, and they are the cause of all the problems and psychopathy and bloody genocide happening in the world today. Just look at the Crusades. But everybody's too stupid to understand what's going on. And they never question the upbringing of the people that commit these crimes. They're all of them are religious psychotics. All of them believe in imaginary friends. All of them have a disturbance in the brain. If you believe in imaginary friend on a UFO abduction, you believe in ancient aliens, or you believe in crap like that, you're psychotic. You have a problem. You believe in zombies that resurrect and saved with blood. You believe in angels. You believe in demons. You believe in... That is a psychosis. You don't create this thinking from the heart, from the liver, from the ass. No, the thinking is produced in the brain. Here, this produces it. We're not born with knowledge. We're born without any knowledge in here. Yes, and we are product of coitus. We came out of a sperm fertilizing the egg. And this imbecile, they don't teach children science in schools. They are all raised in a Christianity-infected country, in a Christianity-infected or Islam psychotic infected or religious psychotic. It's mind-boggling, the ignorance today in this 21st century. These people should be in hospitals, mental hospital. If you are infected with this thing, you cannot be elected to office. In Saudi Arabia, put all these sultans and all this head of the country that believe in that crap in a hospital. In North Korea, this imbecile that believes his father is descended from heaven, he's a god, put him in a mental hospital. And this is the way you ought to treat these people, like sick people. Everybody goes to church as sick people. Everybody goes to a synagogue, sick people. Anybody goes to a believing all that kind, sick people. And these are the results, and nobody sees it. And we all have one of these, a brain. This is what controls our bodies. And when the brain malfunctions, it can only produce malfunctioning, theotardia, believing God, and psychosis, like temporal lobe epilepsy, mania, bipolar, and all this depression, suicide thing, all of them, when this organ malfunctions. Let's deal with facts, okay? Another example here in the United States. This guy, killed his wife. Nobody is going to question the upbringing of this guy. Brought up definitely in a Christianity-infected home. He has to have some reason why he did what he did. A person with a mentally healthy, in other words, an atheist brain that don't believe in all that garbage, and he can tell between fact and fiction, don't want to do this. I guarantee it. If he does something crazy like that, he had a problem with the brain, he's still definitely an atheist because he's not mentally healthy. Something is wrong with the brain. And the upbringing, this guy should be studied. It should be his life since he was a little kid. Study. He was taken to church all the time. What happened? He hated women. Why? Because he was taken to church all the time, and the Bible telling that the women are dirty and bad, and the demons and all that stuff, and this persecution complex. That's what you study. But nobody does. Everybody ignores it. You have to study the upbringing of the person. The majority of babies and people are born, they are bringing in a religious psychosis. Nations, countries, kingdoms, whatever the religious psychosis is, but kids are brought up like that. Only the very healthy brain become atheists. They can actually start fending off the stuff. But not everybody's that lucky. Nobody's that healthy to actually, when they grow up, realize that the whole thing is bullshit. Be able to tell fact from fiction. And that's very unlucky, and nobody questions this. Due to ignorance in the United States of America, Christianity-infected nation. Why do you think these children got killed? What is the cause? Again, religious psychosis. Keep in mind, the United States are crusaders. They're Christianity-infected crusaders. The Islam psychotics don't forget the atrocities committed by the Christian barbarian crusaders with inquisitors and the ignorant morons that when invaded from Europe, invaded naughty land when they were getting along just fine with all the crazy Islam psychotics, Jewish psychotics, although they were getting very fine. And this is in 1099 to 1280. The crusaders, these imbeciles, they lasted for over 250 years. Who's going to know that? Nobody, because children are kept ignorant in the United States of America. They're teaching garbage. They have millions of churches in this country infecting the brain of children. They had no idea what Afghanistan is. Created by England, by the way. And all this, they had no idea. And this is the problem, because they educate them with Christianity infected, with Bibles, with crap like that, with the stuff of the 12th century, anti-science pieces of shit, and they are in the control of the United States government. They are senators, judges, and all that stuff. They don't know anything about the crusade. They don't know that religion is a mental illness right in front of everybody, and nobody sees the cancer of the brain that is in front, that hides in plain sight. Because we all have a brain. Brain malfunctions create malfunctioning thoughts, psychopathy. There it is. All these children killed. Who's going to talk about religious psychosis? Nobody. Nobody. Nobody's going to see the truth.
And then they took off towards the main buildings. They burst into here, the main auditorium. They split into two teams.
See that?
It's full of children here taking classes.
All of this is religious psychosis.
I tried to run. I was shot in my shoulder.
And dumb,
the people who came,
mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, and neurologists
Afraid,
do
trying to hide
not
underneath
see it.
The class
Get a brain, ignorant idiots.
in first aid.
Religious is a cancer of the brain, it's a psychosis.
Where he fell.
You don't, idiots don't see it.
Things get really bad.
Expressing churches,
Children fled
synagogues,
here. And
This is a 12th century bullshit, psychosis, psychopathy, genocidal stupidity.
Cold-blooded murder.
This happens all over the world thanks to religious psychosis. Christianity is the worst of it. It's psychopathy.
Going downstairs.
Spreading churches.
Here to the computer.
Look at this. That's the reason they're killing people and killing kids.
And you can
They don't want learning. They're anti-science.
Children.
Disgusting idiots.
Or they're just typing at their computer.
And everybody has to be political correct, and they don't say, no, religious is a disgusting psychosis. Believing God is a nonsense. It's psychopathy. It's a cancer of the brain. Deal with the facts. We are evolved, mutated primates.
And here on the board,
this is what happens.
The teacher would have been standing.
Learn about the Crusades.
And then the place where the teacher.
These are the Christians anti-science pieces of shit. And they're all over the United States. And they spread the cancer in churches.
Blowing up his suicide.
Look at the GOP.
Marks the wall, little pot marks.
Look at the GOP.
All the ball bearings.
Anti-science idiots. They go to church.
And over here,
they get an infection in churches.
another suicide.
And this is the 21st century. This is happening. Learn about the Crusades.
Station.
Learn about the Inquisitions
down here.
of the 12th century. And this is still going on today, and scientists, atheists, morons don't say anything and don't expose this believing God for a psychosis.
The deputy principal hides in
because they want to be
survives.
Politically correct.
Here.
American scientists, atheists, dumb idiots, clueless, wake up.
None of these programs mention religious beliefs created in the brain for the psychosis it is. Religion is a mental illness.
So
why?
My brother.
Christianity infected KKK America.
And in a
racist pieces of shit Christians.
3 hours. The all-white jury deliberated just 10 minutes before the judge sent him to the electric chair.
See?
His defense attorney...
The kid was killed in the electric chair.
And filed no appeal.
People forget that. Thanks to what? Christianity infected America.
Today, this is where the girl
Christianity is a psychopathy, the cancer of the brain.
To find the railroad tracks rusted, covered in kudzu.
See? Arrest my case.
Littered with paint.
And the stupid atheist intellectual scientists, they don't say it, they don't expose it. God believe as a mental illness. Dangerous, the most dangerous psychopathy ever is believing God and crap and angels and demons and all that bullshit.
Would have been an incredible... Family attorneys say a new examination of the few records that still exist shows a botched investigation. Blood on Stinny's clothing. And no murder weapon consistent with the wounds found on the girls. Able to murder both of these little girls, beat them to death without a struggle, then carry both of their bodies and their bicycle about 300 yards that way to the Stinney family asked the South Carolina court to throw out George's conviction.
See that?
All of the authorities from that era are gone.
Those who forget the past are condemned to repeat it. And Americans are the most ignorant, Christianity-infected nation on the planet, thanks to this Christian crap in churches. They teach racism, pedophilia, homophobia, ignorance, anti-science pieces of shit, and they are in control of Congress. Look at all the stupid people controlling Congress. Look at the Supreme Court.
And they never talk.
They believe in demons and angels and crap like that. The Supreme Court.
I want to find out where my brother was.
And they are the ones legislating, they are the ones saying the laws in the country. They're psychopaths.
My brother did not.
See that? And they believe in Bibles, and they swear to tell the truth over the Bible. They aren't our wonderful president, that is an atheist, President Obama, because he's black.
Judge agreed.
They completely disrespect him. This GOP God obsessed party are psychopaths, ignorant imbeciles. And Democrats are also pussies and morons too. But the Republicans are the worst. That's the most infected.
Instead, his name will be forever linked to a tragic story of Jim Crow era injustice.
The gun from the hostage taker. The Courier Mail says Dawson was trying to defend.
See, look at what happened in Sydney. Same thing. And this is very ironic. The gunman was an Islam psychotic person, very disturbed Islam psychotic infected imbecile. And the reason he acted the way he acted is no different, is because he was sick with religious psychosis. with the cancer of the brain, the HIV of the neural array that make people believing all this crap. In other words, religion is a disease, it's a cancer, idiots. It's a cancer. It comes from the brain, from infected brains. So wake up, mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, wake up. Link religious beliefs to a mental illness, one of the schizophrenias, so you can see clearly. Look at this. This is in Sydney, and look at what these girls are doing. Why do you think they're wearing this stuff? These are crazy people. They're Islam psychotic women. And they're not killing people. They're Islamists or Islam psychotics don't go around killing people. They don't. But they are like HIV positive. In other words, they are Islam psychosis positive. They got all this learning from the Quran in the mosques. And all these people believe all the crap, all the mythologies of the Quran, just like the Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles believe in the Bible, the stupidity of the Bible, nonsense of the Bible to be reality. To the psychotic, every religious text is reality. So what happens is they have become religious psychosis positive, either Christ-psychotic positive, Islam, and they get all that in the presence of worship. So what happened when they become full-blown? Then they run around in rampage killing people. See, so these women are infected. They're like Islam psychotic positive. They're not acting up. But ISIS is a full-blown Islam psychosis, one of the sects, because there's 72 strains of the Islam psychosis. Like there are many strains of Christ psychosis in Christianity. Mormonism, Adventism, Baptism, Catholicism, which means universal, by the way, and all that stuff. The same thing in Hinduism. Any religion has strains. They are crazy people. They believe in imaginary friends to be reality. And that causes a problem. And when they control governments, they're not going to call themselves crazy or schizophrenics because they believe that they're sane. Like anybody in the mental hospital, in an institution, the people with schizophrenia, deep mental problems, they're not going to, they believe they're perfectly sane and mentally healthy. This is the problem in the world today. The religious, the psychosis, the cancer of the brain, nobody sees. Religious psychosis, HIV of the neural array, which I call it a mental illness, a disorder that nobody sees it because religious is considered like to be perfectly normal way of reasoning. It's not. There's no difference between the imaginary friends produced by a schizophrenic brain or neural array to the imaginary friends and demons and foes produced by any religion. Find me one religious psychosis that does not have imaginary friends. If you accept them as reality, you have a problem. You have a problem, deep problem. You're a psychotic person. If you don't accept them as reality and you know that they are fantasies, then you are healthy, you are mentally, you are an atheist. In other words, if you go to Disneyland and you know that all the characters there in Disneyland are not real, then you are healthy, you are mentally healthy. But if you go over there and believe that all the characters in Disneyland are real, and you believe that they existed and they are right there, then you have a problem with your brain. And who accept the characters in Disneyland to be real? People with the brains are very young. They are the children, very, very young children. They cannot tell between fantasy and reality, accept everything in Disneyland to be reality. But if the brain grows up, they get mature, and they still believe in imaginary friends to be reality, which are in all religions. Then they are I call it theotarded. The brain is regressed because of Dios, or Deus, which is God, which is an imaginary friend. So theotarded is a person that is religious, that believes in imaginary friends to be reality. In other words, it's no different than schizophrenic. That's the problem. Botched.